Now, we all know Roblox Dead Rails is the super popular hit game with fun gameplay and a not at all repetitive gameplay loop. The game was created by Rico Miller and the Memer Monkey for their group RCM Games. But through the loop of shooting all the zombies and picking up loot, have you ever wondered what the true story behind Dead Rails is? What caused the zombie outbreak? Where am I? Who is the brain in a jar? Now, I plan to answer all of these questions and more with this video. Onto the lore. Now, our story begins August 6, 1895, when Nikola Tesla receives a telegraph from Washington, D.C. stating that he would develop a bioweapon for the military within a year, with the goal being to mimic the effects of yellow fever. Now, Tesla manages to complete his prototype ahead of schedule, with the military sending him another telegraph on January 2nd, 1896, thanking him for his swiftness. They then order 100 barrels of his latest prototype, Agent 15. Eventually, things go to shit, and Tesla and his workers are exposed to the bioweapon, with the workers being turned into zombies and Tesla having his brain removed and put in a jar in order to survive. Before his brain removal, Tesla leaves instructions to have his brain to be taken to top scientists in order to have him reboot. Now, on February 6, 1898, Captain Prescott receives a telegraph from Washington stating that he and his men will be expecting shipments of Agent 15, with orders to hold on to the barrels for 2 days before a carrier picks them up and delivers them to the USS Maine. Now, 10 days later, Prescott receives another telegraph with an urgent order directing him to burn all prior telegraphs that mention Agent 15 and or the USS Maine. Prescott stops responding, with him being ordered to reply to the chain of command or be labeled a traitor and a deserter. A bounty is eventually placed on Prescott's head. Prescott and his men are eventually turned into zombies, likely from exposure to Agent 15, and now they reside in Fort Constitution. And it's assumed that the reason Captain Prescott didn't respond to any of the telegraphs is because he was already a zombie. On June 21st, 1899, a virus began to spread through the United States. It supposedly began as just a mutated form of influenza, but it quickly turned into a big-ass issue. The first stage of symptoms was reported to be a fever, including violent tendencies and unexplained mental effects, and it only seemed to be effective against humans. On June 22nd, 1899, dozens of towns throughout San Antonio reported mass looting due to mass panic from the virus. And meanwhile, officials began stating that if you or someone you know started to experience symptoms of the virus, you should limit exposure as much as possible. June 25th, 1899, the fourth day since the start of the newly dubbed zombie plague. President McKinley now orders martial law in an attempt to regain control. The newspaper ends with a call to arms for anyone who was willing to aid in pushing back the zombie menace to join the fight. Down in the mine town of Sterling, miners were mysteriously going missing, likely from zombies killing the shit out of them. Now, eventually the issue got so bad that the mines were sealed off and all the missing miners were declared deceased, with the town's leadership urging people to leave Sterling entirely. The presence of the jade tablets, strange mask, and jade sword likely indicates a different story. Now, a theory mentions that this happens before Nikola Tesla even creates the agent, and that a strange material from inside the mines is the cause for the entire outbreak, and that Tesla eventually possesses that thing from the mines and starts the outbreak. Another theory is that the miners stumbled upon ancient artifacts and they were converted into the skeleton miners. Now, it's unknown exactly when the remaining townsfolk decided to leave Sterling, but it's obvious that the town's been abandoned for a long ass time. Now, on July 5th, 1899, government officials announced that Mexican scientists have successfully developed a cure for the zombie plague, with the authorities urging all survivors to travel to the capital in order to receive it. Now, this is where you come in. starting in a small town in America and setting off on a train to Mexico in order to find the cure. Let me know if you guys fuck with this new style of video. Thank you for watching. I love you.